I think people have a very interesting concept of what purpose means, and they want to compare it to what they think other people's purpose is, which what they accomplished, that might not have even been their purpose. That just because that's what you see, that doesn't mean that that's their purpose. I had moved back to Atlanta, and she said, well, if you're interested, Tony Robbins is going to be here in Chicago, and you can come up here. And I thought it would be fun and cool for us to go. And so it was so fun. And that was my first introduction to just that personal development field and space. And I was hooked. I was like, this is wonderful, because I love the fact that it wasn't based on race, it wasn't based on religion, it wasn't based on anything but some really universal truths of just like what's right and what's wrong. It's right to treat people good. It's right to love people. It's right to love yourself. It's right to want to be your best. Like, these are things that you could be Muslim, you could be whoever. You could be black, white, it doesn't matter. These are things that as a human being are just the truth, And so I really, really enjoyed that space. And it's very interesting because you do kind of take it in a little differently, and you see how some of these principles and concepts, if we applied it to some of because we have been through different things. These are totally different journeys. And some of these concepts that I've learned can still be so beneficial to us because it's the thing, they're universal truths. And so sometimes these things are like hidden from us, or we are in situations where we forget who we really are and that we were made for some just beautiful purposes. And a lot of times we think that, trying to figure out what your purpose is in life, it might not be like to cure cancer or to create a Tesla or to start this business. It could be you're the person that God wanted to help the people in this community have clean water. It could be this person over here needed somebody to notice them that day because they were about to take their lives, and you had the presence of mind to be kind to them. I think people have a very interesting concept of what purpose means, and they want to compare it to what they think other people's purpose is, which what they accomplished, that might not have even been their purpose. That just because that's what you see, that doesn't mean that that's their purpose, And so being in this space, I feel just has really helped me, one, be more compassionate with myself, be more compassionate with others, be more objective, have a passion about teaching some of these concepts that I've learned to people who just aren't exposed to this information, to this technology, just because they're not. They don't come in contact with it. I happen to have been blessed with a mom who, for whatever reason, was exposed to this information. And then I was exposed to the information. And then I was exposed to more and more people who have different ideas and concepts of love and community and growth and self-love and self and personal development and oneness, And I just feel like I'm lucky to even have been exposed to this information, and my message might not be for everybody because some people are ready to live on a different level and some people are not, and that's okay. But for those people who are ready to live at a different level and be happier and show up more as their authentic self and not have to bear the weight of being somebody that they're not, and just free up their energy because they're not spending so much energy faking the funk, as they say. For those people who are ready, I just want to share, what I know, and what I know will make people happier, because The more happy people there are in the world, the better the world is, period. Period. And quiet as it's kept, the more happy Black people that there are in the world. That's a good world. That's a good world. I feel like before taking on society's expectations, family's expectations, I feel like we have more of an opportunity at that space of just being happy. And we're our true selves, our true authentic selves, without expectations, without social norms, without you should like this kind of music versus that kind of music, or you should want to go to that kind of school versus this kind of school. We just show up in the world as happy beings. The more you have the human experience, the more you forget that you are an amazing being. So it's like, and I don't think that that's what was meant to happen, because there are a lot of things that go on in the world that are not how this is meant to go. But it's going that way. So we have to figure out, how do we have this human experience and love it and enjoy it and do it the way we were supposed to do it, and at the same time remember who we are at our core, our soul, like who we are, our soul being, because that doesn't change, and we change it. Like, it's still there, like your soul being is still there, but as we show up in the world, and then we take on qualities that are not our own, which are insignificance, depression, low value, like we don't value ourselves. So we start taking on a little, like the world starts chipping away a little bit by bit. Oh, maybe I'm not that good at this, or maybe I'm not meant for this, or maybe I'm not so good at this, and maybe which, yeah, you might not be but that's okay, because that's not who you're meant to be. It's okay that you're not good at everything. You don't need to be good at everything, but then we take that as our value is not what it should be. And it's like, no, we're still amazing. You're still great. You're still wonderful. But we start to take on these things as our identity, as who we are. And it's not who we are. These are just characteristics that we've picked up. But it's not who we are as a soul being. We're still wonderful. We're still loving. We're still brilliant. That's who we are. That's who we were created to be. And so, but we lose that. Like as we go through life, and life just starts hitting us and hitting us and hitting us and hitting us and chipping away, because for a lot of times there are not other sources and resources in our lives to say, hey, stop taking all that on. That's not who you are. That is your life experience as a human, but that is not who you are. But a lot of times we don't have people in our lives to remind us that, no, you're okay. No, you're good. No, you're wonderful. No, you're brilliant. No, you're smart. No, you're still an entity created by God that is amazing and powerful and beautiful and brilliant. But when you have so many things constantly chipping away at who you really are, and nobody coming in and saying no, negating that negativity, sometimes you can take that on as, no, this is who I am. And you forget that part of you in your soul that is like, no, that's not who you are. And so hopefully I'll be able to help people see that, no, like, take all that off, take it off and just throw it away. Because that's the world. The world put that on you. You don't have to take that, because it's not you. Take it off, throw it off. You decide. Who do you want to be? You get to choose. The world doesn't get to choose. You get to choose. And hopefully that will be what I'm able to help people understand and remember themselves and remember how amazing they are. and how loving they are. I don't care. I don't care if you've been the same way. I don't care if you've been angry for 50 years. I don't care if you've been depressed for however many years. I don't care if you've thought poorly of yourself for however many years. If I can just help shift that 1 millimeter for you to think that, what if I'm wrong? What if that's not who I am? What if none of this is real? What if I get to say what this looks like? What if I get to create the narrative? Because that's all we're doing. We're just creating the narrative so you can create a crazy one, a sad one, a negative one, a self-defeating one, or an encouraging one, or a motivated one, or a loving one, or one who's open to, like, just what are the possibilities? Doesn't even have to be negative or positive. Is there another possibility? I'm just open to see what's out there. That's better than sadness. That's better than hating yourself. That's better than always thinking that you're not enough. That's better than thinking that, oh, if I make more money, I'll be more loved, because it doesn't work like that. You're more loved when you love yourself more. That's when you're more loved. Not when you have more zeros in your bank account. Not when you have more degrees. Not when you have more titles. Not when you have a bigger house. It comes when you figure out how to love yourself, because then that's how you learn to love others. When you love yourself, you got that part covered. Okay, so now I have this space covered. So now I'm comfortable enough and I feel safe enough and I know that I'm good. So now let me love others, because I've figured out how to do that.